You know Sonic the Hedgehog? You probably know this, but in the early 90s, there were two different Sonic cartoons airing at the same time. One was dark and dramatic, the other was a hilarious comedy about chili dogs. And the same guy played Sonic in both shows. Isn't that wild?
Alright, now let's begin from where it all started. Obviously, growing up, I loved playing the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and I still do. You can just tell by clicking any video on my channel. And if you're new, you should consider subscribing if you like the video, or any of my other videos. I mainly grew up playing the Sonic games on the Wii, that being Black and Knight, Secret Rings, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and watched every one of the Sonic cartoons. And from there, that's where we begin. The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was a TV show produced by Deke Entertainment. After they secured a deal with Sega to create an animated series based on the popular video game franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog. The show was developed to be a pilot episode, and if successful, it will lead to a full series. And when doing research, ironically, Deke Entertainment previously created another video game series cartoon.
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
The Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which is another show I was familiar with because I had a DVD set of it. I'll probably get back to the show another time, or just the series in general with its movies and shows. No, not that one. This one, with the series being a hit, the West will go to create their own media for Sonic, such as the Archie comics, this show, and the Sad AM series. Huh? What do you mean there was a third one? Oh. That show. I'm not looking forward to this. Sad AM was more serious, while the other show was more silly with slapstick, like Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry. And on September 6, 1993, the show premiered on television days before Sad AM did, starting off with the pilots from 1992. When I watched it, I found it weird because there's no music or sounds, but only voice clips.
Sonic the Hedgehog!
$5 grand? What a tightwad! It'll take more zeros to catch these heroes, eh, Tails?
And as for the voices, Sonic is voiced by Jaleel White, who did not want to be the voice for Sonic at first because he felt it was going to be too much for him, but his mother and the producers of the Sad AM series showed him concept art and story pitches of Sonic, which convinced them to voice him. Because of school and filming Family Matters, another show he was in, and a really good one, he recorded his lines for the show, and Jaleel White mentioned that he made an effort to have Sonic sound raceless and developed a unique voice for Sonic, as he didn't want him to sound identifiable that anyone can claim is Sonic black, white, or whatever. Instead, Jaleel made him sound just hero, just fast. That's what it says on the website at least. But I'm probably wrong, but looking at the pilot, why does the animation look smoother than from what I remember? The pilot seems like it would just fit in any other episode with the series, just minus any sound effects and music, which can come off as weird, mainly because there's only just static VHS noises in the back.
What a great plan, Dr. Robotnik! Stealing the village's water supply! We need your help, Sonic!
Watch this! I hate to pump and run, but I've got some rays to catch.
I hate that hedgehog.
Has a title card at the end with Sonic saying the title of the show.
Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's fast and furious. I'm fast and he's furious. Got a juice, bet you can't catch me. At least not until the fall of '93!
Sonic says the first, Sonic says,
Hey, Sonic, wait for me! Ah! I know, don't tell me.
So how about you tell me?
Never cross the street without looking both ways first.
You got it, pal. And that goes for the rest of you out there. I don't want any of my pals ending up as road pizza.
and then that's the pilot. Now, like I said, if it were successful, it would go on to get a full series, and it was, because it spawned 66 fucking episodes and a Christmas special. That's more episodes than most of the shows on this list, except one.
Is this a towel?
What am I supposed to cover with that? Are you making fun of me?
The show is really episodic and can go off model a lot.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Told you not to let go.
You know, I sure have fun.
Like, what the fuck am I looking at? And also, no, I was right. The animation is different compared to the pilot's animation. It follows the same premise of Sonic and Tails, the brown-colored fox, because for some reason in a lot of old Western media, he was brown. Stopping Robotnik's schemes, who was voiced by Jim Cummings, and his minions Scratch, Grounder, and Coconuts. I remember finding it weird of how Eggman, Robotnik's mean beam machine, is like the only, at least I think the only Sonic game to have his design from this. Like, as far as I know, it's the only one to have Robotnik's Western design, and it's even has Scratch and Grounder in the game. And then every episode ends with a little lesson at the end called Sonic Says, like no smoking, no using guns, have a healthy diet, always take your proper medicine, don't cheat, don't take alcohol if you're underage, and don't join gangs and be part of the wrong crowd. After all, if you do,
That's no good.
and then rinse and repeat for 66 episodes. Why does he have blue arms in this frame? Oh wait, I forgot to mention that Tails is also voiced by Christopher Welch. When I first found out about the Archie comics, I was still watching the show. I found it interesting that characters from the show made their way into the comics, like the freedom fighters such as Sally and the others, and Barizi was flirting with New Metal in the comics out of all characters. This scene confused me because Sonic blinks, but his eyelids don't move, so for a second his eyes are just completely white, and then in the same scene Tails' eyes are connected. And what the fuck happened here? One arm is purple and the other is yellow. Like I said, this show can go off model a lot, but hey, that's not the only show that I know that has a lot of inconsistencies. The Christmas special involves a normal type of Christmas episode. Robotnik kidnaps Santa and fools the people with a fake Santa, and Sonic Tails have to save Christmas, in which they do. I remember when I was younger, I was watching this, and I was watching Sat AM just on the TV, and then when I watched this, I was confused to see Sally, because I'm pretty sure this is the only time Sally shows and is colored to be of how her color palette looked in the early Archie comics, but has the design of how she looked in Sat AM, and she just only shows up for a cameo. She doesn't say anything. Though the fact she's here could be the fact that Sat AM came out 8 days after this show aired, and Sonic's Christmas Blast came out in 1996, and this came out 3 years after the show ended on December 3rd, 1993, 3 months after it started airing because the show was cancelled. The SEC's production on the show to spend more time on Sat AM after the original show stopped airing. The ICE created one more episode in the winter of 1996, that being Sonic's Christmas Blast, with Sally making a non-speaking cameo, and the series came to an end. I remember watching this show a lot when I was younger, mainly using Netflix on my old 2DS I had at the time, after watching a couple of episodes just so I could do this video. The show isn't great, but it's fine for what it is, and it has some charm to it. And like I said, maybe later I'll just do another series like this and go over all the Mario shows and that one movie, as well as Kirby Rapid Gotcha. Do y'all remember that? Okay, next is Sat AM.